We'll cover the basic concepts about lists and dictionaries. So let's first start with list here. The list comprehension. Before learning about the use of list in Python programming um, for our machine intelligence course, so we must first see how to create a list, how to manipulate or update a list, and so on. So let's see a list comprehension. Suppose you have a list numbers with these four elements. Now you want to calculate the square of all these numbers or elements inside the list. So for that, to storing the squares, you are creating another list called as squares. And to create it, it's first empty. So the empty list will be declared like this. Empty, there should be nothing in it to be enclosed with square brackets. Now what are we supposed to do? We have to iterate over this list numbers, and one by one we will calculate the square of each of elements and store them into squares. So that is the logic behind it. So let's see the code. So for each num in numbers, that is list, so what it will do, this will this will consider individual element from the numbers list. So first it will take one, and then what will happen inside the for loop, the squares will be appended with num to the power 2. That is 1 to the power 2, which is 1. So first now append has 1. Okay. Now like this it will go on. So let me show you that. Okay, before that I need to tell you the syntax. So let's see here that one. So the next num is 2. So for the num 2 in numbers, the squares will be appended with 2 to the power 2. For power, you use two asterisk signs. Single asterisk sign is for multiplication, double asterisk is for finding out the power. So like this, it will go on throughout all the elements of the list and will append them. Append them means append the squares of all the elements to the squares list. If you don't want to write so many number of statements, 1, 2, 3, 4, rather you just want to write two statements and do the same thing. It is also possible. Create the list with all the numbers, squares, new list to be updated with. First iterate over all the elements in the numbers list, and then through the iteration, in each iteration add individual numbers um, to the squares with calculating the power of all the numbers. So let's see this example here. I've added it already. So numbers is having these four elements, and when I run the code, what it should do, it should calculate the squares of all the numbers and add it to squares. So let me run the code and see whether we are getting it or not. Yes. So for 1 in numbers, 1 is calculated. For 2 in numbers, 4 is calculated. For 3 in numbers, 9 is calculated, and then it is assigned to square. So like this, it will go over or iterate over individual element and add them to the squares or assign them to the squares. Let's see one example. Let's say you have a set of strings, three set of strings inside which list words. Now let me run the code to see what do we have inside the list. So here you have the list with three elements. Now you could see that all the words in the list, all the three elements, they are the combination of lowercase and uppercase letters, correct? So now I want to convert everything to lowercase. So what to do? To convert everything to lowercase, there is a function, lower. So we need to call the function in order to implement it. So how to do it? First word is already declared, and words have these three set of elements. So for each I in words, so first it will catch Intro to Machine Intelligence, Computer Science, and then Eastern Connecticut State University. Then it will calculate the lower of all the words, and when I run the code, the lower case new list that is being created, it will be added with these three lowercase strings from the words list. Okay. Now let's see another example. Suppose say a function takes a string as an input. Okay. And you have, as an input means the user has to provide the input, that means you have to provide the input. You can also practice it yourself. I have attached this file to Blackboard also in the same chapter folder. So for practice also you can just click on it and then run the code. Okay. So now the enter the string. So first let's say I will just enter my name. When I enter one, so enter the key, then it's showing some result. So what is this? So let's first see. This is our definition. So as you already know, the definition won't be called until we call it somewhere inside the code or script. So see here, the before the call, what you are doing, you are executing a statement x equal to input a string. So when it executed, it asked us enter a string with the blank box to enter a string. So I entered Somya in that place, my name. You could try with any other string of your choice. So now we are printing what? A function. The function name is ABC with the parameter passed x, that is Somya is passed to the function. So when function is called, it will move over to the function definition, and here abcx will have the value as Somya. So what will happen then? A new variable argument r is to be assigned with xsplit. So xsplit, what it will do? It will split all the elements, and sorry, it will split the string or the element that you have entered in the input, and it will return the number of words inside the list. So split will see where is a blank character or where is a escape sequence or a space. So after Somya, it will see a blank space and there is nothing after that. So that's why only one word one is returned by the length of r. Okay. String is split based on the escape sequence after Somya, and R will have only count, that is the Somya, the word, and the length of R will be 1, that is the length of the word. So let's do one thing, let's run it again, and here what I will do, I will enter these two strings divided by a space in between. So why is it returning 2? Because I have included a space here. So first the function is called, total whole string is passed. So xsplit, what it will do, it will see first Somya, okay, first count, then it show another one space, that means the whole string is divided into two words. Then it took 3 as a count in R also, and the length of R is returned as 2. Likewise, you can enter as many strings of your choice and see what result it is giving you. Okay, this is another one example in which you have to enter first and second string as inputs to x and y, and then words first and words second. It will now contain the first string and the second string. Okay, so let me run the code. So first string I will enter the name, my name, second string as another word, and see what is printing. It is printing each word. So the first two statements asked me to enter two strings in it. Now Z, another one list is created, empty list. Now words first will have what? Xsplit is called. So Somya, that is one will be the Somya will be returned to Xsplit and the length will be calculated as 1. So words first will now have 1. Okay. So Z is appended with 1 right now. Now Y split, length of Y split will have 1 again because Y is being assigned with Shri. So again, word sec will also be added with 1 also. Okay. So likewise, take as many examples of your choice, as many as you want, and see how it is varying with the input. Okay. Now one exercise for you, list comprehension, use it and then create a list of tuples where each tuple will contain two elements, the string and the length. Okay, so there is one, one example is also given here below. Okay, so using this, try to answer. Now there is one exercise. You need to create a list of words that are more than 3 characters long using the words list below. So let me run it and say this is a word and we are trying to split it. So when we split, all the words in the variable that is being assigned will be split and added to the words list as a single words here, and words will be returned in this way. Okay, so how many elements are there in the words? So the whole word is now split into five separate words, and there are 5 elements in words. So now use a bunch of statements to create the list of words that are more than 3 characters long. So how to do it? So what you can do, you have to write a for loop to go over the whole list, that is words, and individually check which word's length is greater than 3. So that is being established through this statement. Okay, so can you do this using this structure? Okay, so try it yourself and run the code and see whether you are having similar output to that or not. Let's now start with dictionaries. Store key value pairs. So dictionary is what, rather than just storing the values, it stores the key and the value pairs. Okay, so what is this? So there should be a dictionary name. This is the syntax, and it should be enclosed with curly braces, and in it there should be a key and a value associated with it. Key and a value associated with it. Like this, one key can also be associated with multiple values. This is also possible. We will look into those cases. Then if you want to look up a key in the dictionary using the bracket location, you can do like this: dictionary name and the key. Okay, and what it will do, it will give us all the values that are being assigned to the key. So it will display value 1. Okay, now let's see one example. So here I have one dictionary like this. So one key Somya and one value assigned to it, one key Tashneem and one value assigned to it. So what I did here, I just enclosed, if you know all the faculties in the computer science department, I just added their name and their respective email IDs. Okay, all the names act as keys and all the email IDs act as the values with that for that corresponding key. So let me just run the code. So see what happened. First it printed dictionary here. Now it printed email. So email means what? It will just print the whole dictionary over here, whatever it has. Now uh, to add 2 spaces in between, and then it will display this statement. Okay, whole thing. And here what I need, I want my email ID. So how to get it? If I could write the dictionary name and the key name, so can I have the value? Yes, that is what I am supposed to do. So dictionary name and the key, and that will give us my email ID of the dictionary. This is how all the dictionary works. Now let's see what are the keys in the dictionary. So use the dictionary name and just type in, use the dot operator and the keys. So it will give you all the key names, that are the names, first names of the faculties. Let's say you want to have all values, so the dictionary name dot operator and the values function, it will give us all the email IDs here. Okay. Now you can add a value to a dictionary by using like this. So let's say you want to add Professor Gao as a key and her email ID like this as a value to the key. So this is how you will do. Value will be assigned to the dictionary name along with the key. So this will be added to our dictionary. So when I run the code for email.keys, now you could see that Gao is being added to the initial dictionary. Understood? Now let's say we want to look up a key. Okay, let's say Smith. So do you have a key here as Smith? So what will happen then if something is not there? See, it gave us a key error. That means this key named Smith is not present in the dictionary. Now to prevent this option, let's check that a key exists. So what we are doing, we are first checking a name, whether a name is there or not. So if a name is in the email, then that will print those. Okay, if not, then this will just print this statement. So run the code and let me run my name. Let's say I will enter Somya. So yes, that appears. So first you entered the last name. Now you saw that the name that is being assigned with Somya, I entered. So Somya in email. So it will go there and check whether email has Somya in it as a key value or not. So I have it there. That is why it is displaying the Somya colon email of Somya. That means the value associated with it, that is the email. Here you could see, yeah, the email. That is what returned here to that statement. Okay, let me run the code again. I will enter something like this, my last name. So see what it is returning. I don't have any value as Sahu in there if you see. That is why it is returning the else part here. Okay. Now there is another one, get method. So let's do this. In the get method, it will allow us to specify a default return value if a key is not in the dictionary. So let's say we are checking for Dan Kick and for Smith. So enter. So what it will do, print Dan Kick. Okay. So what will happen? Email the dictionary name and then we will use the get method. So it will see for key value Dan Kick. If you are searching for Dan Kick, then it should display email not found. And same thing goes on for Smith. That's why it is printing it here. You could also add this to the code for displaying different types of messages. Then iterating over a dictionary. Same, use a for loop. To iterate over a dictionary, you always need a key. You could also have a value. I will tell you that. So first, let's see using a key. So in the dictionary email, you want to iterate over all the values. So just use the key. So when you do this, it will print the key and the associated values. So how to get the associated values? Using this type of comprehension. Dictionary name and the key. So see what it returned. It went over all the key values and returned their email IDs. Now let's see another way using key and value in the dictionary, both of them. Okay. So if you use both of them, it will directly access it using the name that you passed here. Rather than writing like this, you could also write in this way and this will return you the same thing if you see. Okay. So this is all about lists and dictionaries used in Python programming.